Hi guys, welcome back to the Southern Scouser. Liverpool finally get a win. Massive well done to Liverpool tonight. Huge performance. Obviously the result really positive. 2-0 win that backs up the 2-0 win from the first leg. So a 4-0 aggregate scoreline over Leipzig, and Liverpool march on to the Champions League quarter-finals. So a round further than we got last year. So yeah, really good vibes from that game. We weren't brilliant in terms of performance. We weren't made to play particularly well. I thought Leipzig were really poor. They didn't really offer anything in the first leg, and to me, second leg you're 2-0 down, and to not even score a goal. You know, obviously they conceded goals, so that they started as a pretty open kind of tactic and approach. We had lots and lots of chances in that first half, and we were really wasteful. Jota, especially Thiago had an early chance. Salah probably should have scored as well. So yeah, obviously when that first goal finally comes in the second half, it's more relief than joy for me after the last few games of the amount of shots we've had in Premier League matches where it's not led to a goal. So finally getting a goal, Jota running through, playing Salah in, and yeah, obviously a good little finish into the corner, which was absolutely brilliant. So once that third goal goes in, especially that kind of stage of the game, it's pretty much over. Leipzig are not going to come back into this, and they showed absolutely nothing throughout the game. You look at their formation from the beginning of the game. I thought, okay, it looked like a back five, but it was really three centre backs and then two pretty much wingers with four kind of attacking midfielders and a striker. So I think what played into our hands was the lack of pace that Leipzig used. So I always feel that Liverpool's style of play, as I've mentioned, kind of this season, even though it's not been very successful in the Premier League, does suit European football. And European teams tend to not have worked Liverpool out quite as well as other Premier League teams. So obviously, Leipzig are a better team than Fulham. They're a better team than Burnley and Brighton. But Liverpool's style, is less known on the continent, I feel. So, we seem to get more success than we have been getting in the Prem, which is not difficult. So, yeah, that put us 1-0 up. And pretty soon after, Origi came on. Nice little interplay with Keita, I believe it was. And then, yeah, he swings a fantastic ball in to the box where Mane just uses all the pace on the ball to redirect it into the corner. And, yeah, I mean, once that goes in, Leipzig heads are down, and everybody knows that that's the end of that. So yeah, it was more joy when the second one went in. Back to experiencing and feeling happiness when Liverpool score a goal rather than wondering when it's coming. So all right, we're still miles behind in the Premier League. There's massive work to do, but it's nice to have a bit of joy, isn't it? An actual win on the night, a win overall. Obviously, I went for the 1-1 draw, so much better than that. 2-0 win. Didn't let Leipzig score a goal, so credit to the defenders because, to keep two clean sheets against Leipzig over two legs, all right, both neutral grounds, but I think that's a real positive. So, yeah, massive result tonight for Liverpool. Quick on the player ratings because I haven't done them for a while just because it's been too depressing. But yeah, I'm gonna have a crack at them today. As I said, I don't feel Liverpool had to be at their best today to get a result. So you're not going to see nines and tens for me. I know other channels and specifically Red Men, people like that tend to go a bit overboard when Liverpool win a game. Oh, nine, 9, 10, 9, and for me that just feels a bit overkill. A 10 out of 10 should be like 3 or 4 goals or an unbelievable performance from a goalkeeper, something like that. 9 is almost perfect. Two couple of goals and an assist, something like that. And an 8 and a 7, you've had a really good game. 6 is average. So as I say, I don't feel Liverpool needed to be absolutely amazing tonight. I thought the opposition were poor. But yeah, in terms of performance, in terms of player ratings, I'll have a little quick look through them. So Alisson, I felt looked okay. First half, he came out for quite a deep cross and kind of missed it, and Thiago cleared it. But he did settle a bit more. He looked a bit more confident with the ball at his feet, and he did make some really good saves, especially in the first half from point blank range. I think it was against Poulsen. So yeah, I think he had a good game. I don't think he had an amazing game. I don't think he had a lot of work to do. So 6 being average, I think Alisson a 7 is pretty fair there. In terms of the fullbacks, I don't feel we utilised them very much today. I felt we played in a slightly different style. I don't think Robertson and Trent got too involved going forward. They did okay at the back, but I wouldn't say they were any. The level that they set themselves is so high that it might sound a bit harsh, but I think 6 for Trent and 6 for Robertson tonight. I don't think that they were absolutely exceptional. I don't think they were bad. We got a clean sheet, but yeah, I expect a lot more from them going forward. So 6s for them, for me. In terms of the centre backs, I thought they were absolutely superb. That's the second time Kabak and Phillips have played together, and it's the second clean sheet. So Sheffield United being the first. Kabak played in the first leg of the Leipzig game, also got a clean sheet as well. So 8s for me for Kabak and Phillips. I thought they were exceptional. I think Phillips was probably my man of the match as well. So yeah, I think when we're playing really really high line and Phillips has to turn and run against his own goal, he really struggles because he's really slow. But tonight, I think there was only one time I saw him running after the ball, backtracking. Most of the time he was up in a physical battle against Paulson. It was two big guys against each other, and I think Phillips pretty much had him in his pocket. And Paulson was dragged off after an hour because it didn't work, and they tried a different approach with Cliver and Huang. Smaller, more agile players, but by the end the damage was really done. So Kabak and Phillips definitely 8s for me. As I say, man of the match Phillips for me tonight. Really really impressed with him. And Fabinho actually played in midfield. We actually had a holding midfielder, or a number 6, as Klopp likes to refer it to, that actually belongs in that position. A Henderson or a Fabinho. We've not had either of those two playing in that position for ages. And finally, Fabinho in there, it's so much better. We're winning the ball that couple of yards further ahead, and then we're straight on the transition. Rather than Fabinho being the last man and winning the ball back, and then everything goes from there. Because Fabinho's not the kind of person to play a 40-yard long ball. He likes to get the ball, win the ball, and play it quickly. So him in that midfield, he put some key interceptions in, key tackles. Looked like Leipzig were going to pull the trigger in the first half, and Fabinho nips in. So really, really good from him. I thought he was excellent. So again, an 8 for Fabinho. I thought it was really, really good. And fingers crossed, Klopp's realised that actually in possession we don't tend to use the centre backs that much anyway. So, really, if you're going to lose a couple of centre backs, don't weaken the midfield as well. Keep that as as likely as you can to what you'd like to choose. And just if you have to make those changes in centre back, okay, don't play quite as high a line as you would with Van Dijk and Gomez, because Phillips and Kabak aren't that kind of centre back. Just slightly change your approach. All right, Trent and Robertson's game might be affected by that, but clean sheets and goals equals wins. So hopefully against Wolves we play a very similar kind of lineup, because I thought Klopp got it spot on tonight. Other midfielders, I thought Thiago and Gini were okay. I think Gini had to do a lot of work off the ball, a lot of energy. I thought Thiago played a couple of good balls through, did make a couple of fouls as well. So I think 7s for them is fair for both of those. Salah and Mane, again, quite wasteful. They gave the ball away a lot. They both got their goal, so it kind of balances out. I think, obviously, both of them got the goal, so slightly better than average. So I think a 7 for both of those is fair. If they'd have got another one, maybe looking at 8s and 9s, but for me 7. And Jota, who was actually a little bit disappointing tonight. Obviously, he played through the middle, which I did predict. I got 10 out of the 11 right in terms of the lineup. I just wasn't expecting Fabinho to come into the midfield, but I'm very glad he did. But yeah, Jota missed a lot of chances, some big chances. But he did get the assist for the first goal. He did do the breakaway with Salah, so that kind of brought him back up to, I think, a 6. I think without that he gets a 5 because he was really wasteful, but that brings him back up to an average overall. So yeah, as I say, we didn't need to be brilliant. We took our chances when we got them. Leipzig were really poor. We had a lot of chances to score. They were really wide open, and it was a little bit like watching us, to be fair. Over the last few weeks, Leipzig, no idea up front, not a clue what they were trying to do. They started with the big man, then they took the big man off, then they put another big man on in Sorloth that was at Crystal Palace a couple of years ago. So it was a bit messy from them. We didn't really need to break stride in either leg, to be fair. Have a couple of bits of quality, and it was enough. So as I say, Origi did come on, did create the goal. I think that's better than average to come on and create. So a 7 for Origi. I don't really know if Keita even touched the ball, and if he did, he gave the ball away. For me, his time's ticking down. Even if Klopp's decided, with that win, hopefully we can kick on, and he's going to have, another season at least, and unless it's absolutely catastrophic next season. But yeah, I think Keita's time is ticking. Minamino's time is already up by the sounds of it. So I think a 5 for Keita. I don't think he was anything special when he came on. And Milner, again, he did all right. He's probably a 6 average. He did get involved a bit more than Keita. He did nearly give a foul. He did give a foul away and nearly get a booking. But yeah, I think a six for Milner. But yeah, in terms of the next round, obviously Dortmund and Porto have already gone through. Quite a shock with the Porto one. Obviously, with the away goals counting, especially like we had against Atletico last season, I think it's really unfair that away goals count in extra time because the away team's got an extra half an hour to score an away goal. So if you go into extra time, obviously as you would level, as soon as that away team scores, the home team needs two, and there's only half an hour in extra time. So there might only be 10, 15 minutes left once that team scores, and the tie's effectively over. So I'd quite like to see, I don't mind away goals. I get the reasons why, I get the pros and the cons, but for me, I think really once you hit extra time, if a tie is level, away goals should be, scrapped off, and it's just who wins the tie overall in goals from there. So maybe we'll see a change in a couple of seasons, but yeah, Juventus were on the wrong end of that last night, and obviously we were last season. So Porto are through, Dortmund are through. That was quite close in the end, but yeah, Haaland again, unbelievable. PSG knocked out Barcelona, massively ahead from the first leg, so that was always expected to really, to go through. Even if they were to lose on the night tonight, they would have had to have been played off the park really to be knocked out. So obviously Liverpool join those. Next week you've got 4 remaining fixtures where you've got Madrid, Bayern, City and Chelsea all leading from the first leg, so you'd expect those 4 to go through. And as I say, because of our style suiting more European teams, I'd hopefully want to avoid the English sides. Obviously, Man City are the team to avoid specifically. I think Chelsea we would be a bit closer, but yeah, I mean they don't look like slowing down under Tuchel, do they? So I think Porto is the obvious one. I think they're the one team in there that really don't belong in that list. Famous last words if we do get them and lose to them, but I think they're the team. We've had a lot of success against Porto in the past in the Champions League, so I'd like to get them in the next round. I believe the next round will probably be next Friday, something like that, once the remaining games have been played. Possibly the Thursday. I'll have to update you on that on the next video. And yeah, obviously you've got the usuals. Bayern Munich are the team to avoid. PSG are a team to avoid. Dortmund are a weird one. Haaland is incredible, but the rest of Dortmund's team this season has been pretty bang average. So it would be a hard game to call. And yeah, obviously Madrid again. There's a bit of history there, isn't there? So that would be good to get them potentially as well. I don't think they're quite what they were before as well. I think they're not even in the top 2 in Spain. So I don't want to make it a massively long video, guys. Overall, Liverpool have won the game. They've won the tie. They're through. Liverpool run riot. It's a good feeling to, again, we've got the weekend off in terms of watching Liverpool back on Monday night against Wolves. So keep an eye out for that game. The preview show will be coming up soon. Have a great night, and Liverpool back among the wins. Get in. That's been the Southern Scouser, guys. Take care.